Hey, everybody. Hey, everybody. Just being great on this day. Y'all, I'm so excited to be here today. I'm laughing because me and Roushelle naturally, since the day we met, we've been laughing.
It's true.
We be laughing about everything. But in real life, okay. So welcome back. Welcome again to our mini forums, another Keynote Series. Today, I actually have the wonderful Roushelle Reign. I love her to death. She is a graphic designer. She is also a pageant owner. She is the queen of making a coin, thus that I know of. Yes, she is the queen of making a coin. She is also a baldie. Do not be mistaken. She grow her hair out just like the rest of us, and then she go cut it off. All the
True.
Yeah, y'all already should know who I am. If you don't, my name is Precious Wallace, and I am the creator and founder of Art in Mini Forms. And lastly, before I go ahead and let Roushelle introduce herself, thank you again to our wonderful sponsors, both Youthprise and the Knight Foundation. Thank you both. So I'll pass it over to Roushelle so she can tell y'all who she is.
Hey. Well, hello. My name is Roushelle Reign, and I'm a creative director. I do branding, web design, and I get your whole life together, basically. Yes, I am a former pageant queen. I own my own pageant as well, and I do judging and coaching and all that stuff in that environment. I'm also a model, retired, sort of in between. Sometimes I come out of my shell. And I'm a travel junkie. I think that's about it. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I'm a professional dancer since 3. Mm-hmm. I think that's it though.
So Roushelle does everything, but she also works for herself. Okay. Mm-hmm. Roushelle has been doing this how long now,
Roushelle? Branding. This is our 3rd year.
Mm-hmm.
I say or like it's me and like 10 million people. It's just me and Jesus. So it's our 3rd year.
Always be like when they ask for a company mission statement, you be like we, but it's really just me.
So my 3rd year, my birthday is always the start of something. So I started it 3 years ago, and here I am.
Mm-hmm. Now, I just want to give out a disclaimer, y'all. It's raining today. I have some laundry going. Whatever. Okay, we're going to live our lives. And then you see this person down here. Okay. I'm cat sitting. Okay. I love my cat, but I'm cat sitting. So y'all going to see all the things. But anywho, so me and Roushelle, when we met, we also met at a conference. And she was just a delight because I am always the bubbly, over-the-top personality, but y'all, she outdoes me. And then I think it was because I caught on to her accent because she is very much Jamaican. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, is you speaking Patois to me? And she was like, what you know about Patois? And I was like, not a thing. But I know when I hear it, okay? I know. Okay, y'all get Roushelle going. Y'all can catch her a few moments today where she kind of sometimes it just comes out and she can't help it. Especially when we get to talking about finding new clients and, as you said, getting people together. Yeah. So when people in your, as you being a designer and all those things, what made you get into branding? And then what made you decide, you know what, a lot of y'all don't even know what y'all doing. Let me get you all the way together.
So I think way back then, for some reason, I wrote in a book that I was going to be a creative director. I had no idea what that was. I think I was probably around 13. I had no idea what that was. And that was in Jamaica while I was living in Jamaica. And 15 years later, here I am, right?
Mm-hmm.
So while I was being, the professional dancer and I was performing at all these big events, I realized that the planning of these events is very lackadaisical. It's subpar at best. And I wanted more for our community. I wanted us to kind of just raise the level and just be very discerning in the things that we do, in the things that we choose, whether it has to do with our personal lives or our business life. Then my friends and I have this saying, even though patty shops can be successful, of course, you have like Juicy Beef and Tasties, but we always say, yeah, run a patty shop. That means like, are you running some form of, give me $1 here, give me $1 here. If you're running a business, you should always run it at a certain standard. And I wasn't seeing a lot of that standard when I moved to Toronto. And I wanted more of that standard. So I took my I took my pageant booty and stepped into the design world. And I for sure did not want to be a graphic designer. I started studying graphic and I was just like, this is not me. I am not doing this. And it was my branding class that opened up my eyes to branding. And then I realized I've always been doing this because my mom, she has like masters in marketing and she was like big in Pepsi in Jamaica and like all this kind of stuff. So I've always been around marketing, right? I realized I always discriminate against logos. If your logo, if your packaging, if whatever isn't on par, I'm walking out.
Let me tell y'all. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. I was going to tell them.
Because of that, it just started to develop a whole lot more. And you could come to me and you would say, Ro, listen, man, I don't know where my business is going. And I will totally zone out from once you say, I don't know where my business is going. When you're finished, I already have an entire vision and plan just by that conversation. So I was just like, what am I going to do? I'm just this. At the time, I was actually reigning Miss Canada petite. So I was just like, nah, I got to figure out something because I can't be doing this pageant thing. It was so draining. I had to be everywhere, every weekend. I was like, how much time am I going to put makeup on? To the point where I actually don't really wear makeup now. I will do my eyebrows, but my friends have to fight for me to put on foundation. Because it gets so tiring, right? So I started to apply the things that I used to win my pageant to my clients or to people or to friends. So I would come to a friend's house and she'd be like, oh my God, I have a gala to go to. And she'd be like, the only person I know how to call is Roushelle. And I shop for everything down to what is going in her hair. And I'm like, you have to look a certain way. You everything, every single thing. So I started dressing people according to their personalities and their businesses, and it was just close people because I'm not too much like everybody. And then I started applying it to fashion shows that I was a part of. And I would start training the girls. And I'm like, what is your vision for the show? Okay, I'm going to take that vision and I'll make it blow up bigger. So I started doing all those things. The majority of those were volunteer work. It taught me a lot. And I'm a giver, so I will give you more than what you need. I'll always go above and beyond. Anywho, I then stepped into creative advertising, the program, and I completed it. And I was just adamant that I was not going to work for nobody. I was adamant that I was not going to work for an agency. I like agency, what I can learn from them, but from the outside. I'll read the case studies, but I'm not waking up at 8 a.m. to go nowhere. Not this Roushelle? I don't think so. So, no. So I started, just doing here and there, going back to certain fashion shows that I've done before and saying, hey, I want to work on this with you. And then that's how I gained certain clients. And then one of my biggest, I think what blew me up was how I turned I think the event was running for like maybe 12 years.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a good event, it's a great event, but it was running at a certain level that she didn't know where to go. She didn't know how to grow it. She didn't know how to expand it for it to really flourish.
Mm-hmm.
And I called her up. I'm like, yo, listen, this needs to be redone. This is like trash. Let's do this. And we were on the phone at 3 a.m., 5 a.m. And then she was like, we have to rename it because it's a really long name. It had like 6 names, 6 words in the name. It was really long. And she was going back and forth. And I was like, okay, come off my phone. Bye. That was probably like 2 o'clock in the morning. At 5 o'clock, I called her and I said, I got the name. And she was just like, what? I said, check your phone. I did the logo and everything in 2 hours, everything. And she started bawling. She was bawling. She was just like, she'd never had that kind of experience. And then it became the Roushelle Reign experience because people brag about it now. She's never had that kind of process where she saw her dream come to life in that sense, and bigger than it already was. So then I stepped in even more and I fired all her regular models. I did a casting. I did everything. I redid everything. I redid how she did the structure of the show, just everything.
You just out there being the Gordon Ramsay of pageants.
Right. Yes, pretty much. So I took what I learned from pageantry and I really placed it in branding. And I think that's the difference between myself and another talented branding person, is because I can see further than their brand on paper. I can see how they speak, they walk, they talk. Like all my clients look completely different now. They just look like an enhanced person of themselves because they know I'm watching you. Once they post something wrong, they text me and they're like, I know you're gonna rough me up. And majority of them are Jamaican or Caribbean, so the rough up comes easy, right? They're like, I know you saw that. Just give me a moment. Like I'll take down the post soon, but I just need it up for a bit. So I come with a very stern, like iron fist as well, but majority of people won't see that because I'm small and petite. I'm always bubbly. So it's very unpredictable of how I really structure my processes with my clients and how I get them from point A to point B. So yeah, that's just a little gist of how I circle the dust.
That's just so in my last conversation with Tori, we actually talked about coming with authority and confidence in your authority, and how people naturally, especially if they don't know what you're talking about, but they thoroughly believe that you believe in what you're talking about, they just say yes. What you got to do, right? And I think especially like that's the thing that keeps us kind of, well, I would say in my opinion, like us two kind of drawn together, because like I thoroughly respect what you do as a brand designer. You literally walk into a place and say, scrap it all. Throw it all. I don't like any of it. We are going to redo this. I need all of that gone. What's your budget? Okay, listen, we're gonna find somebody who can do this for you because I don't like this anymore, right? To which I'm not mad at that approach because I know I am that person. I do it differently, right? I come into place like, all of this is whack. We're finna rehire a whole team right now. Like, no, like we're redoing this right now. Right? And so I think it goes along the parts of like, it's a part of our niche because for us, I would say that, and that's probably why people call it the experience, right? The Roushelle Reign experience is because it's all a part of your niche. Your branding, the way you handle your clients, the way you deal with them. What have you found when you're like, okay, this is my system? What have you found when there are clients who purposely want to hire you for your niche, but aren't completely ready? for what you are going to bring to the table.
Ready in terms of they're not ready for the transformation?
Not ready for the transformation. They might not even be ready for you, like who you are as the person and the designer. Like, how do you handle that? And how do you, I really don't even need to ask, how do you find people? Because I know people come and find you.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, how do you handle the people who are not ready and just ready for you?
You know, not everyone can be ready for me.
Here she goes.
But for persons who come to me, I see why they need me. But what I've started doing recently, especially, I don't force it on them. I don't force them to be ready. I tell them, okay, this is what you're gonna do now. Come link me in 6 months. Link me next year. You know what I mean? I'll see you in a bit. Don't worry, babes. I'll see you in a bit. Mm-hmm. That's what I tell them now. So at this moment, what I've been doing mostly with people who I know aren't ready for that jump, we have a session. We have a strategy session. We figure out where you are, figure out what you need to do and where you need to get to. Mm-hmm. There's going to be some soul searching in that part, and you need to do that on your own. Mm-hmm. I'll hold your hand when you are ready. But you need to come to me, right? You need to, when the baby's walking, the baby needs to walk to me. So you have to allow them to come to their own decision, you would call it, maybe. Mm-hmm. Say, you know what? I know I need Roushelle, but I don't think I'm ready yet. And then they'll continue coming. I'm ready now. I have persons who are in my inbox they have been watching me for 3 years. They have been watching me before I even started my business. Because it was so difficult for me to switch my actual Roushelle Reign brand. Mm-hmm. It was very difficult for me to switch it. Because everybody just saw me as the model, the dancer, that person that you call in for those things. No one saw me as the designer, the strategist, all that kind of other stuff. They did not know, or I didn't know at the time, how to define Roushelle Reign more than those things prior to 2015, 16? Mm-hmm. So I understand where they're coming from. So because I've been through that process where me probably wasn't ready for me. I wasn't ready for this. But now I am. So you have to give them the time. You have to give them the time. You have to give them the baby steps. Give them, certain goals or achievements that they need to have in order to get to the big project. So sometimes I just break it down for them bit by bit. Some people need me every 6 months. Some people need me every day. The everyday thing don't work, but some people need me on a month-to-month basis, right? And you have to structure it based on who they are, because everybody needs hand-holding, but everybody's hand-holding is completely different. Yeah. There's people who they will want to text me every single day to see if this is what they need to post.
Don't do that.
I know I'm not the person for that. I like to disappear. I'm not the person for it, right? So I know who my clients need to be at this point. Before, because I'm a giver, I was trying to help God, Jesus, the 12 disciples, Mona Lisa, everybody. But that does not work for us as creatives, because when we're creatively drained, then it doesn't help them, right? So I just gauge everybody at this point.
Yeah. And the best part about it is, Lord, best is gonna be my favorite word today, y'all. I see this coming and happening already. But every session, Roushelle, I have a word that I grab onto and I use for the rest of the time. But honestly though, I think it's very important to break it down by who the person is. I think the best metaphor that you used was, you need the baby to walk to you. And then once the baby walks to you, then that's when you start holding their hand and walking them around and da-da-da-da-da. Because then they start walking on their own. They might, they start doing their own thing. I think a lot of times we treat our clients like this, especially when it comes to branding, because you also have those people, got to get close for this one, who don't think branding is worth the investment. And when you have the people who don't feel like, well, that, oh, you know what, that costs too much. I don't want to do that. Or actually, I know someone who can do this far more cheaper for me.
Oh yeah.
When they circle back, I charge double. Thank you, Lala Milan. Because
I just told you that story this week. We just spoke about this.
Yes, because it's kind of like branding it's so important to a person's business, the recognition.
It's the soul of the business.
Oh my God.
Telling people this.
You cannot market the business if you have not branded the business.
There's so many dimensions to branding that it's not a hurry come up. It's not overnight. It's not, I'm tired of saying this, but it is literally like you're trying to find a soulmate. Like that's what it literally is. Like I keep telling people this and they don't believe until we begin. They really, because honestly, I'm going to tell you, like I've listened to their reactions to things, and also the persons who think it's too big of an investment are the persons who need the most hand-holding, right? So to the persons who don't even realize how much of work that goes into it, like really deep work that goes into it, they come in very oblivious. I just don't know how to market this. Marketing and branding are two different things, baby girl. You have one to feed the next one, right? One has to be done first, and then you move on to the other one. You can't do marketing without having a brand. Like that doesn't make sense.
Listen, even better, running with the metaphor of them being children. Marketing and branding are not the same thing, but they are twins, okay? It's a set of twins. They're not identical, okay? But it's a set of twins. But the one that popped out first, her name is branding. The oldest here is branding, because the quicker people are able to recognize your branding, your colors, and who you are, your whole identity as a brand, the quicker it is for people to say, oh, okay, I really like that. Like, I think that is part of what makes the Roushelle Reign brand really great, right? Is because like the branding you have around it, right? You and the pink hair, or what? Listen, you and your hair, y'all be doing things, okay? But that picture that is so infamous, like you having the video shoots with your clients and things of that nature, like that all is very important. And it just kind of constantly lands you in places that are unexpected, right? And so what is it like for you when it comes, because like I said earlier, you don't really, because once again, I see me and you and you and me, right? Yeah. So I've said this before, I'm gonna keep saying it because I still don't have it yet. King P Studio website has been down for over a year, whatever, okay? I still love y'all. But people know me for being the girl with all the color, right?
Yes.
And people know you for being very clean and minimalistic, right?
Right.
So what is it, and we had discussed this earlier, like 2 months ago, like what is marketing like for you in the sense, or is everything really just like word of mouth because of the experience overall?
So I think the latter, the word of mouth because of the experience. Until recently, I did not know how far the word of mouth went. That part. Never know how far that go. Like I never know how deep it go. It's to the point where I'm on the road or like say I'm at an event And I like to go to events by myself. Because then, I ease back. I act like I can't talk. All the time. So I'll be at events and somebody will come up to me like, "You're Roushelle Reign, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, "Oh my God, girl, I knew it was you. You walked in like, oh," and you're like, oh. And I'm like, I just walked in and sat down. She's just like, "No, you walked in like, hello, look at me. I'm here, move." Well, yeah, kind of. But I think just my aura markets me. Like, to the point where people are looking and I'm not seeing that you're looking. To the point where, and I'm gonna tell you, that whole thing I did in January
with the
clients and the whole shoot thing.
Yeah.
Somebody copied that a couple weeks later. Copied every single bit of it a couple weeks later. Yep. And I didn't say anything on the post, and someone was like, "I swear RR did this just now." So one thing I learned was allow other people to be your influencers and to be your advocates and to be your supporters. And I don't comment on certain things anymore. So when persons are looking for a website and, branding, when they post, I don't comment anymore. In the first year, I was commenting, but I don't comment anymore. By the time I click out of Facebook and I come back maybe a half an hour later, I'm like 10 tags in. I don't even comment on those. I just click like. I just say, "Oh, thank you, sweetheart. Thank you, honey." That's all I say. I'm not putting my email there. If you want me, you come get me. And that's how everybody should be. Like, that's how I make my clients. If you want me, come get me. Come to me. Like, what?
Oh, this is Rochelle's real life person.
Right? So I think it's also a huge thing where I instill, I don't know if you want to call it confidence, but it's like I take a little piece of my personality, the piece that they need the most, and I place it inside of them. Like, I literally place it inside of them. So it's like they always feel, I always got my clients back, and I don't have to text them for them to know that. They know that I'm always there for them, right? So I think it's just the whole beyond the experience, but I think it's also the relationships that I have. As I said, I built my name off of being a volunteer for certain creative aspects, right? And, the dancing and the pageants and all that stuff. So on this end, it just doubles it. It really just doubles it. And I mean, the work shows for itself. Your work shows for itself. I am the sparkly, all white, clean, crisp kind of thing. You are the bold colors and 16 different colors together, and then you're like, "That looks so damn good. How'd she do that?" Listen, I put 10 colors together. They look great. They look amazing. I'm great at colors. But I would be like nudging my teeth if there's like 10 bold colors together. I know they look good, but it would be getting to me. You know what I mean? So we have such similar styles, but they have their different twists and quirks, and I like that. I love it. I love it because I know for sure, like, and what I like about collaborating with others, and I guess this is a huge part of my brand, is that if I know I am not the best fit for you, I'm going to find you someone who is the best fit for you. Because I'm not giving you nothing that is not me. If I treat your brand like how I would treat my brand, right? I'm growing your brand like how I would grow my brand, but with your vision. That's the only difference, right? I'm just implementing what you need. That's all a part of the experience as well. Some people, they just design and send you off. No, we are designing with you in the center of it. Yeah. Because that's the only way it's gonna flourish and grow to become what you're looking for.
Right.
So yeah, but I don't really market that much. Like,
no.
Every January, I will come and crash your websites and crash everywhere, and then I'll just leave you to do the rest of the year.
So much. you know, the thing about it, so 3 things, right? The first thing is that video that you put together with your clients. I even was like, y'all, I'm inspired. Not to the point though where I'm like, oh yeah, let me like go pull my clients. First of all, no, I'm not.
That's not you.
I ain't pulling I'm not pulling clients. Okay, but granted, I have a different relationship type of thing with my clients, but I ain't pulling them for a shoot. Okay. And all the clients I've worked with, some are further away from me than, you know, whatever. But also too, I think that's a really beautiful piece that you did, because I'm just like, I don't know who she hired. Because I'm getting more and more into just film and videography. I'm just like, who shot it? What did they shoot it on? The color, the colorizing, all those things. Like, who?
Can I tell you? I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. None of it was planned.
Oh, I'm sure. First of all, I know
that shoot part, that filming part was. I just said, Jay, listen, CJ, and I'll send you the money, but I don't know what I want yet. I just know I want me smiling and walking, but that's it. And he just shot every time I move, every time I breathe, Jay was right there. Like, that's all.
We love, which brings me to my next point. We love networking. I think our form of marketing, which isn't maybe a formal form, is networking and word of mouth. Word of mouth is a form of marketing, right? But like, we know how to network. We know how to talk to people to the point where, no, you don't have to sit and comment on somebody's thing. Like, typically I really don't, unless someone sends it to me like, Precious, you should, you know what I mean? Whatever.
Right.
But like, typically people are like, no, you should ask Precious, because people know me for being the girl who likes to use all the color, and I use color in such a strategic way. It's like, wow, but it works. How did that happen? You know what I mean? And so I think that's the same thing with you, because I remember we had talked about before, a lot of your business coming from Facebook groups, and I don't think people be knowing that there is money in these Facebook groups that you need to go and join.
You know, the only thing that wakes me up in the morning is the moolah.
I'm not mad. Listen, I'm here for it 100%.
Here,
like, and you find collaboration there too. Like, the ability to be able to call somebody and be like, yo, because I'm actually doing this next week. But to be able to call somebody and be like, yo, I want to do a shoot. I want to do a whole video. I want to make it bomb. Can we do it? Yep. Okay, dope. To be able to hop in a Facebook group, or to hop on your Facebook after tagging all the groups, like, here's what I'm doing. Here's how this is happening. Boom, bow, bing, bing, pow. Like, utilizing your Facebook. And then, oh my gosh, I lost my third point. But utilizing your Facebook so that way you have all the collaboration pieces.
I'm very resourceful. Like, if you call me in the middle of the night to say, Roushelle, I want a fashion show about mermaids. Okay, bye. All I'm saying is, okay, bye. Wait, what date? Okay, bye. By the time you get up in the morning, 10 o'clock is my time where I talk to people. I don't talk to people before that.
That's everybody's time.
When I get up in the morning, you will have an entire show planned. You will have everything that you want. Okay. Moving forward tomorrow. Bye. That's it. That is it. So we network to be resourceful too. We network to make sure that our connectivity with others are purpose-filled. Right? And it's always mutual, because there's that intention behind everything. Is that even if it's to call you to say, because I know sometimes we talk and we just talking just to talk, and we're like, hey, what's up? What's popping? What are you doing now? You know, that kind of stuff. Like, how do I support you? Like, us just having that conversation is support. A lot of people don't know how to do that.
I know.
A lot of times my conversation with some of my clients, especially the clients that you saw in that video, girl, I'm telling you, if I fell down right now, all 5 of them are rushing here. All 5. All 5. Right? Like, I built this they feel
a community.
It's like, okay, I've built the Queen Council.
I love her. She said it. I built the Queen Council.
That's how it feels. That's how it feels. So all of my clients are a community, but there are a few that
I got you.
Yeah, there's just a few that just they're just there by your side.
We love those. Cool. We love those.
We love those, right? So, and those are the ones who they will keep your whole the soul of your business alive.
Oh my gosh, yes.
So, I mean,
oh my gosh, yes.
When it all ties in.
And to speak like what you're speaking on, I think people really need to understand is that to do your job well is one thing. To do your job well and make a mini combat team behind you that every time they are outside somewhere, every time, and someone says, hey, do you know a person who do such and such? Oh yeah, like I don't know how many times. That's why I'm a thorough believer that your gift will make room for you, because it will bring up your name in rooms you have not entered. Because if you do your work and you do your parts, right, you will run into those 2 or 3 clients, whatever it be. Because I would say I have those 4 clients that are like anytime, in any place, and everywhere, especially last year. They would say my name, and it would just be like, next thing I know, I'm looking up, hey, you got a new client. What? Okay. And when people ask, like, you ain't got no website and you making money. Yeah, I know. I
have not touched my website since February 2nd. That's the last
I haven't touched my website since last March. Okay. Couldn't even, because I wanted to restructure it. And right when I thought I was going to have the time to restructure, God said, no, here go 3 clients. And then here I come again. Oh, nope, we're going to Cali for a month. I was like, you know what, bro? Just let me know when I got some downtime. Ain't been no real downtime, right?
And that's how I feel right now. That's exactly how I feel right now. I'm like, okay, I'm going to take a break. I'm booked on like 3 months in advance. When that 3 months come, no, there's no form of breaks, but I'm not complaining. I'm grateful for the blessings.
Yes, and not complaining about it at all, because I would rather be making my money and getting my money and actually also having an impact at the same time, because we're not traditionally taught that you can do art and get paid for it and live off of it. You know what I mean? So I think the fact that, like, especially, I don't know, but this new kind of Black woman, I almost want to say, is dedicated to her craft, her money, and her impact. And I think that
her money and her
it's like, because it's like, just, first of all, don't ask me for advice on something if you're not gonna pay me for it, because you're gonna either Google it or you're gonna run to find someone else who's cheaper.
Right.
And then once again, I gotta remind you, when you circle back, I'm charging you double, right?
We like to see them zeros.
Oh, we like to see them commas. And and you know, and so there's also this other part of, I've also started to really find, so those who have always said my name and kept my name on their tongue, now that getting more into a position where I'm able to, like, hand flowers over to other people who deserve it, like yourself, and just whomever else, the more that I give, the more that I take out of my check to give to someone else, the more God is like, oh, okay, cool. You done found some responsibility.
Yeah.
Great.
Definitely.
Let me pay you more. And so that kind of leads me into our next part. I know you've been doing it for 3 years, and I don't even really need to ask, right? But when are you one of those people who like every year you like, okay, this is what I made for the year. Okay, cool, bet. I want to double that in percentage, or are you just like, God, whatever you gonna give me?
I think I'm half.
Okay.
I think I'm half because look at our convo before we started. I was just like, wait, how much did I make this year?
Okay.
She had to check it.
Roushelle looked at her numbers when I asked her what has she made thus far. She looked at her numbers and literally almost started crying. Just was like, actually.
Because what happened was, let me tell you how this whole thing. So, yes, we know, everything. We had the conversation of, looking back on the past 2 years and all this kind of stuff and wanting to revamp in such a way where I wasn't always creatively drained, right? Because the world knows I take the entire month of January off up until my birthday, and then I come back like a week later, right? So I wanted to be able to, yes, of course, take a January off because that's the Queen's month, but still at least take a little bit more of breathing time, because to be very honest, my past will not leave. My summers are always the busiest because there are live events, there are this, there are that, there are all these shows from like May, June until like September. They're jam-packed. So I'm like, okay, going into 2020, doing this, doing that, reformatting, having conversations, doing everything. And then I dropped the videos. I dropped the photos. I dropped everything. Before I came back to Toronto, because I was in Portugal, guys. Before I came back to Toronto, I had 20 grand of invoices. Remember, I wasn't open until, I don't know, the 13th or something. I don't know. I just told them when I feel like opening next week or something, I'm coming back. But they booked up their time. So I was already booked a couple months in advance, right? But I had a little spaces in between. So with that, I cried. Oh yeah, I cried. With that, I was just like, ooh, okay, grrr, yeah, all right, let's do this again. Then COVID hit. And I was just like, okay, so all these live events and the invoices, what are you gonna do? So I was about to start canceling. A couple of them, they wanted to go virtual. Oh, all right. The next ones were like, oh, no, I'm gonna pay you for the next 2 months so that you're good. And then, you just do the work next year when we're holding the event next year. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. We did that. And then I don't know what happened during March. I have no idea. But all I know, bloop, 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 bloop. I was booked until July. And then the end of June into July, bloop, 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 bloop. I was booked until October. I was just like, oh, hell nah. I'm grateful, but oh, shit. So when I posted it, I was just like, guys, booked until this time. And they're like, people were messaging me like, what? Da, 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 da. I was just like, but I can't control when the people got their lives together to come forth. You know what I mean? Like, I have to take them when they come forth because they're ready. And a lot of these people are not new people that just message me. They messaged me from last year. They messaged me in January. You know what I mean? So yeah, they came ready. They're ready for it now, especially because they have a little bit more downtime to dive in. So they want to use the time to restructure. So this whole pandemic was a blessed-demic for me. And yeah, guys, I just made that word up. Don't yeah. Anyway, but it really it really surprised me at the growth. It really did. And I didn't start checking again, but I was making my goal of 3K, 5K this month, that month, but I really wasn't fully checking the total until we checked it just now.
Yeah.
And still whatever you said just now, I think that's the same amount left in invoices until October.
Mm-hmm.
We're not talking about, November, December yet, because me now working at January. No, I'm working until December. I'll be back in February. So I mean, you know what? And last month I said to myself, I was saying to my mom, I was like, Mommy, I want to find somebody to donate or to, sponsor a website or whatever. And one night, aimlessly scrolling on Facebook, I think I was texting you at the same time. Mm-hmm. Aimlessly scrolling on Facebook, and I saw a lady posting about her shelter and, how they're struggling to keep it open and all this kind of stuff. I looked at her website and I was just like, somebody didn't do this. I'm like, maybe she just, DIY'd it. Okay, cool. If it's a DIY, okay, I see. And she told me she paid for that. And I was so heartbroken.
I'm heartbroken.
And I said to her, I'm like, listen, you don't know me from nowhere. And I told her straight. I was like, I'm half asleep. You don't know me from nowhere. When I get up tomorrow,
all your business happen when you half asleep. Eh? Okay. All right.
Always when I want to sleep. I was like, listen, I'm donating I'll sponsor a full branding and website. So about $6,000 worth of services. I was like, I'll sponsor that. Don't worry about it. I was like, if you don't believe me, just look me up. Google my name. About 3 pages of me will show up. And she's just like, wait, what? Wait, what? And she started crying. She's like, no way, you're lying. I'm like, the same group you just posted in, search my name. She went and searched my name. And she was like, so taken back. She was like, wow. She's just like, you really would? I'm like, yeah. Because I asked her a few questions. I'm like, who did this? When did they do it? What did they charge? And I realized she was scammed. And I'm like, she is a not-for-profit, for Christ's sake. She's trying to help battered women and children. And how can you do that to someone? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I was like, and I said to my mom, I'm like, you know what? I didn't give it to the other person that I was thinking of for a reason. Because here goes someone that really needed it. Mm-hmm. And can I tell you, her soul is beautiful. She is such a nice lady. Mm-hmm. Like, she would be having conversations, and I'm like, who are you? Like, so, and that's a part of how we network. So now I have a network of someone who can hook me up to African connections in Africa and Ghana. And, you know what I mean? So it's like all these different pieces, and it all comes back tenfold. Like, it comes back tenfold. Half the time I need something, I have an interior designer. I don't need to go anywhere to look for one. She was my client. I love her. Everything comes back tenfold, whether it's your coins or and whether it's your blessing in your life.
You are right. You are extremely right. Because at the end of the day, I mean, I'm smiling because I just love your personality. And I know that your personality, us bold people, it ain't a lot of us in the world, okay? But the reality is that, like, networking is so important. And it doesn't just let us also be honest, networking is not just transactional. It's not just about, oh, give and take, and you pay me this and then I'll do that. No, networking also looks like you just said, it's actually knowing, just having it in your spirit, like, I need to just give somebody some work for free, right?
Right.
And being like, oh, snap, you have a whole nonprofit, you have a whole shelter for battered women. Wow, you paid somebody for this. Wow. Let me just like redo this for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I think
we dropped off 10 bags of clothing and furniture, and like we did a whole thing with her too. Like, I went like, oh, I sponsored this. They're like, there's a shelter? owned by Black women? Okay, bet. Pick up the stuff on Friday. I had like 10 bags. 10 bags in the van. Making a midnight drop.
If Toronto was down the street, because also y'all just now mentioning, so Roushelle is in Toronto, okay? And so if Toronto is down the street from Minneapolis, because y'all technically down the street if we look at just, yeah, you know what I mean? But yeah, because I'm always donating I'm literally always donating.
Yeah.
But it is very important. And as y'all go through the webinars and the workshops, I really want y'all to learn how important it is to network, because I don't think I've said this in any of the keynotes yet, but it was very surprising to me to be able to raise 25 grand for a product that did not exist. It was really,
you got the gift of gab. That's what you call it, right?
Yeah. Like
sweet mode. Yeah.
Like I started because of going back to what we talked about earlier, right? Because I had those 4 people that was like, you need a designer, call Precious. Like, here's her email, here's her phone number. Her phone lives on D&D, so you do better just probably hitting her up in an email. Because I was able to take that and then actually talk to people who, I learned this a long time ago from one of my old principals, Cecilia Sadler. She's still in the world. I send you love and blessings. But Miss Sadler told me back in middle school, you get to know the man at the top of the boat, not the crew. And pretty much learn how to be respectful to everyone.
Oh, yes.
But know the person who's steering and actually telling you which way to go, which way the wind's, like, who has final say so of how this thing moves, right?
I tend to be very much like that.
Yep. And so because I have, not saying that it's purposeful, because at this point it just happens. Like it'd be like, oh, Precious, this is the owner of this company and this is the owner of that company. Because of that, for me to be able to have the conversations with people, and then for people to believe in what it is I do with art in many forms, and be like, because y'all, these workshops and webinars, they just got here, okay? I'm doing this because this is out of my brain. And I'm just like Roushelle, one, I'm tired of seeing horrible branding.
Oh my God.
Okay. I'm tired of y'all not really knowing how to have confidence about your product when someone asks you or your business, and you being so scared or timid to even call yourself a business owner because you feel like, well, I'm just an employee. No, you are far more than that. You are, if you want to be a Jeff Bezos, if you want to be a Steve Jobs, be all of that. Do all of that. That's you, right? I think it's really important to also know that networking, people will believe whatever you believe.
Right.
And
right.
So
believe in your own stuff first.
Yeah. And so if you go ahead.
No, I'm just saying it shows.
Yeah. And have a heart of pureness and integrity, because that also shows. Because if I was a con artist, everybody would know. Everybody would know. But okay, when y'all look up, and I know for some people, they're like, when I've had this conversation privately with people, they're like, fam, you raised, because I started doing the like funding or whatever. I started having the conversations in December, and then this spring, all of them came in the same week, and I was like, hey. But all I've been doing is buy new equipment, pay my speakers, go to Airbnbs, have conversations, put together the workshops, hire and employ Black women predominantly, because I love Black women, and do things like that. And this is all off of the basis of networking. This is all off of the basis of, I thoroughly believe in this dream. Other people believe in me, and the people who I believe in let me put something there, because even if it's just a token, I want that person to feel like always, yeah. And it's just a constant cycle of like, what you give is what you get.
Yes, and so I lost my mentor a couple months ago, suddenly, like just like that. Like I spoke to her the Sunday, she was gone the Monday morning. Mm-hmm. And since then, and I think everybody says it, that I haven't mourned her yet, but it's like I have been trying to make sure that she don't come in my ears and say, Roushelle, I'm gonna sit on you, because she got big hips. You know them Nigerian women with big hips, right? And I'm like, I don't want her to say she's gonna sit on me if I do something wrong. Mm-hmm. So I try to make sure I implement the things that she has taught me over the years. And now I even have a new mentee, which I've really taken under my wing, to say, this is how you're going to structure your business. This is what you're going to do. Because again, even though some people have certain talents or, you know, whatever, they may not identify how they can use it. I'm good at that. Like, I'm very good at that. I'm very good at eyeing like what you could do and make money like tomorrow. So I'm paying forward, again, the cycle. I'm paying forward what she did for me to someone else, right? And I'm also paying forward what she did for me to help her daughter give the brand that she built a whole legacy to it, right? Because the knowledge that she gave her daughter and the knowledge that she gave me, when we started talking, all the missing pieces on both ends started filling up. Right? I'm like, when other businesses do that to each other, you know all these things, but yet still you don't know some of these things. I know some of those things. And start filling the gaps with each other. You become unstoppable. You become a Roushelle.
Roushelle wasn't even prepared for Roushelle, okay? You become who you are fully supposed to be.
Yeah, definitely. Like, you have to give yourself this space. And I think that's what my friends and I are doing now with each other. So that's why I'm dressed up, guys, because I'm actually going to another filming thing.
Listen.
We're giving each other the space to, and the support to blossom in our respective fields. So we're all creatives, to be very honest. We're all creatives. But we have different avenues. We have different niches, and I am the business one. So I'm the one who's going to say, okay, you can write. These are the things that you're going to write. Like, you can be a content writer. You can be this. You can be that. That's how you're going to make money. I'm that one in the friendship. So you also have to find those relationships. It's not just about, you know, that transactional thing that you're talking about. You have to find those relationships that are going to help you blossom and build where you're going. Because without those, like, even though I like the, you know, being an island, I heard no man is an island, but, you know, I'm still fighting with that one. But really and truly, no man is an island, and you're going to need the support and not the influence, but the aura of other people around you to kind of help you stay up. That kind of backbone, and, you know, the foundation. You have to set a foundation for yourself, and then you have to have pillars.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
And, you know, one of the first things when I met Roushelle, I can't remember why you said this. I think it was this conference we was at, y'all. There was a lot of Black women. It was a lot of Black women. And there was a few that were literally somehow coming up mainly to Roushelle, like, oh, you do branding, da 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 da. And then me standing there, and I had on colorful pants. Remember? I had on rainbow pants. What's up? They were stripes.
That's cute.
So people were asking me, what do I do? And we both was like, she was like, oh, she do the same thing. And I was like, yeah, she do the same thing. Like, y'all pretty much thought we was the best of homegirls. We just had met.
We just met like half an hour earlier.
And so there was a few women coming up, and they were telling us their businesses and what they needed branding for. And I remember me and Roushelle walked away because we had, even in that moment, I remember we had those moments of feeling like you don't really want to pay for my work. You don't really want to pay for this whole entire thing. And when we walked away, Roushelle goes, rejection is protection. Like,
She stopped dead in her tracks. She was like, wait, what? Let me write that down.
And I did, y'all. It's gonna be in one of the books, one of the webinar books.
Oh,
Cause she said that, and I just was like, word? Wow. She was like, yeah, girl, if it don't come, if it doesn't work, if they never make it, that's fine. Rejection is protection. It means that you weren't for me, not that I wasn't for you. And
all in alignment.
She my new friend. She when I go to Jamaica, bring Roushelle. That's my new friend, because that's a proverb somewhere.
It is. It definitely is. And it even from then, since I said that, at that time I was still learning the definition of it as well, like in different elements of our lives, right? Mm-hmm. And up to now, if you are not in alignment, honey, and if you're disrupting my peace, see that nice door right there on that wall?
The door.
Just hit that baby boy. Hit that baby girl.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I'm not doing it anymore. I'm not, we should not be forcing anything. We should not be doing anything, aligning with anything that is outside of what our soul asks for. And that could be our personal soul or our business soul. I know my business soul, it needs just to be in the middle of the ocean on an island with a lot of strawberries. Like, that's what my business wants. That's what I want too. So double, that's what it is. We don't want anything less. You know what I mean? So I think people have to understand what's for you. If it's not for you, it's not for you.
I hope y'all heard that loud and clear. And if you don't remember, let me tell you again, rejection is protection. Okay?
It is.
You should trademark that one day.
I do.
You should. And you should make it a part of the pageant. Rejection is protection, sis. So if you don't get Miss Jamaica today, don't worry. It's okay. We'll come back. Oh my gosh, this has been actually a wonderful conversation. I appreciate your sentiments. We're going to be in each other's DMs per usual anyway. But,
yeah.
Because y'all, let me tell you something. If y'all could really have privy to our conversations, we be cutting up. When we see all this crazy stuff happening on Instagram, okay, we be like,
girl, did you see this?
Her. Girl, no you don't. No you don't. Because rejection is protection. No you don't. No.
Conversations we have, they're so multidimensional in the sense where it applies to so many aspects of our lives that you would really think we know each other like longer than we do. You would really think that we were way more involved in each other's life with those conversations.
No.
Like, seriously.
And that's just us. We be like, girl, have you? I be like, Roushelle, did you take a break today? Have you eaten today? Did you remember? She be like, you know what? I need to do that. And same thing. She be like, how's your clients going? You good? You okay? I'm like, yeah.
How are you mentally staying right now?
Yeah.
So, that's a huge question to ask too. And that's a huge thing to always keep. Not balance is not a word, but to keep balance. You know what I mean? Like, especially in our world, I realize if we are drained, there is no use for us at that time. We have to recoup. I'm about to recoup this weekend, guys. Like, I'm not
yeah.
Like,
when I don't recommend this because it's only Roushelle and another friend of mine, Naz, who they are both designers and they believe in how many clients do you take a month? About 10, right?
Yeah, I kind of broke that down now.
Yeah, because it's like 3 web designs and then like
3 web, 3 branding. Yeah, I kind of do it like that.
Yeah, and then the rest is consulting. Yeah, I don't do all of that, right? And I'll be exhausted. Well, I'm also a two business shorty, so I'm out here writing workbooks, doing workshops, and then I turn around, do design work, do some presentations, have more conversations.
Well, now I have a third one opening up. My head hurts, so I'm about to break down some more.
Yeah, we be exhausted, but she be railroad hit by the train, leave me on the ground. Oh, let me wake up and design that for you. Let me go back to sleep. I'd be like, friend, you gonna make it?
Listen, like,
Don't recommend, but if you, from all of the women, what you will notice is that like
we go hard.
Everybody, what's impact? That whole saying, throw an egg on the wall and see what sticks. No, we don't do that. We literally be out here like, no,
first.
Let's make this business. Let's make that business because we don't see it. So we're like, let's make it.
Definitely.
And just so y'all know, you can never have too many Instagrams. You can never have too many Instagrams, babe. And I don't care where you at. You can keep registering them LLCs as much as you want to. No one's gonna stop you. But yes, this was a really dope conversation. Roushelle, do you have anything you want to say to especially Black women or women of color who either want to start a business or looking to start a business and are afraid to, like, you want to drop a gem on them real quick? Go ahead, clear your throat, queen.
Podcast in like a half an hour or so, guys, like my voice. Definitely do a list. What you love, what you want to get paid for, and what you're really good at. And then compare to see what's the same thing on each list. Right? And it's okay to do things out of the box. It's okay to do things that are far-fetched to other people, not to yourself. Rochelle's not gonna go open up a car dealership. What? I put gas in the car and I drive. That's it. I don't know anything about cars other than that. The gas is either full or it's empty. See? The light is either on or it's off. Okay? That's it. Do things that aligns with your soul. And I know I keep saying soul, but it's so important because at this point right now, there are persons who run or who ran $1 million design agencies, and they're saying to me, Roushelle, if I were anything like you back then, I would have been in a better position now. Because they were so, they say yes to everything. You don't need to say yes to everything. Everything is not for you. Leave it alone. If it's not making you all jittery, it's not for you. You know what I mean? So be very discerning with your choices. Anything that impacts your life impacts your business. Yeah. And it's if you sad, that money gonna be sad, boo. Yeah. I don't like sad money.
Oh yeah.
I like happy money. So just be clear on everything that you want. If you're not clear today, you're gonna get clear one day. Just keep at it. Like literally keep at it. Release the whole, I can't do it because. We all struggle with it. Yeah. But more and more you release it, the better it gets for you to just start and just launch off. Just start something. I'm a perfectionist, and right now I'm having a headache with starting this art business because I want down to my packaging to be gold and I cannot find it. But I started.
You know what? When we hop off per usual, I actually should tell you this. There's one business that's definitely long term that is going to be in the future. And my goal is to maybe open it on my 35th birthday because it's going to require a building. And that's really a goal. But there's also this other business that I'm like, because once again, being inspired by Jackie Aina, And the fact that for her 33rd birthday, and maybe it wasn't for her 33rd birthday, but I'll just keep saying that she started a whole candle business because she wanted to get away from the beauty business, I think is, and I don't know if you've seen Roushelle, but the packaging on it, it
I need to
is amazing.
look.
Like, she even got a 4 candle package, and they're 16 ounce jars. But there's another business that I'm like, I kind of want to start it. So now I'm like, where should I start?
Yeah.
I'll tell you once I hit stop on it.
First step, I didn't know that. I was just looking for an outlet. Like I told you, I was just looking for an outlet to just not be around the computer, just to do something creative, but not around the computer, and not around technology on a whole. And I've always loved this art form, but I thought it was my sister's art form because I'm techie. My sister is paper. So I always thought it was my sister's, but when we spoke a little bit more, and she's more of the murals and actual drawing of the portraits and stuff like that, and I am very abstract. I'm very abstract with my stuff, with things I choose. And once I dabbled into it, my first one, everybody thought I've been doing it for years. And I'm like, I don't even know what I did. Like, I was just trying to follow a YouTube channel. And then it just developed into a whole thing. So now I'm just taking those baby steps. It's not like with RR, I made sure everything is always perfect. But with the art one, I think I'm taking the baby steps to just let it flow, let it grow into its own woman. Yeah, of course I named it after me, but yeah.
Roushelle is starting to do pour overs, so once again I will tag her website and all of that and her Instagram, but she's starting to do pour overs, and she actually just did one recently of Jamaica. And so from what I know, it's not for sale, but you can go stare at it.
It's for sale. It's just not done because I had to run out for
by the time this comes out, though, it'll be probably sold. Yeah.
You can make to order. Don't worry.
Look, she got you. Oh my gosh. This was
people want it, and they want different sizes. So now I have to figure that out. Like, how am I gonna ship something 8
Girl, see, and this is why I paint, okay? But when they be like, can I get like 3 feet by, because the original is 3 feet by 4 feet. And then when you be like, oh, well, can I get 13 by 19, 8.5 by 11? No, this is why I am a designer, okay? Because with design, it's digital, okay? I can resize all the sizes. Yeah. This is a painting.
I was really running away from any business that makes me ship. I was really running away from it because I used to sell like clothing and all this kind of stuff, and I'm really running away from that because Canada is not great with shipping either, right? So what you guys ship for like $5 in the States, we're paying like $30 to ship it like next door, literally, right? So it makes no sense. It makes no I can 45 minutes to my cousin's house, and she has to spend like $15 to send it to my location. Like it's ridiculous. So I was really trying to avoid that, but obviously God has a different plan, and I'm listening to him a little bit more.
Has a different plan.
I'm not being a rebel.
You'd be like, oh, this is what I'm gonna do for the rest of my life. God be like, nah, skirt. Whoa, sir.
Who thought I would put down dancing? Who thought I was not gonna be like a professional dancer? Who thought of that? Like, who thought I would actually stop dancing? People still call me to teach their kids. I'm not teaching nobody. I'm not teaching nobody. You just never know when that time is going to come in your life where you just make that pivot and just fall over. And I've been helping everybody pivot all year, and this is mine, I guess. I can't leave branding though. I'm gonna be ripping logos apart all my life.
I say, but I know that between art in many forms and this other thing that I got in my mind, y'all, it's gonna get to the point where I teach designers and I'm no longer designing.
Yeah, I will definitely cut down on the amount of clients that I'll be taking as of January. I'll definitely be cutting that down into like, I'll cut a quarter of it off because I need time to paint. I need time to do whatever. And I travel a lot, and I'm not stopping that for nobody. So I have to find my home, guys. Toronto is not my home. My parents are here. I love them, but I have to find where my soul feels like it's at home.
Oh my gosh. And you know, we're gonna discuss that more next time. We definitely are.
Definitely.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I'm gonna have to tell you that when after this, cause yeah. Y'all, it has been dope. I hope y'all have enjoyed this. Everything will be in the description. Thank you again to the sponsors. Y'all make sure you go follow her. Make sure you actually tune in to our next workshop or the next webinar that you need to click into, because that's what you're here for. Hope you've enjoyed this. Hope it's been fun. Bye, y'all.